of this presentation is essentially an unconventional hubris, which is apt for me. Actually, when I was starting out to work on this, initially, I wasn't sure if hubris was the right word. So I checked the dictionary to make sure I was using the right word. Hubris, and while the definition was abrupt, exaggerated pride or self-confidence, more satisfactory etymological context was offered. According to Merriam-Webster, hubris is a particular brand of cockiness from the ancient Greeks, who considered hubris a dangerous character flaw, capable of provoking the wrath of the gods. It gets better. In classical Greek tragedy, hubris was often a fatal shortcoming that brought about the fall of the tragic hero. Typically, overconfidence led the hero to attempt to overstep the boundaries of human limitations and assume a godlike status, and the gods inevitably humbled the offender with a sharp reminder of their mortality. Indeed, hubris seems to be me, but in an unconventional way. I completed my doctorate to a lot of applause and aspirations for a future in research, yet the reality is less than certain, and is one which has left me deeply confused following the award of my doctorate. I interlace this with attempts to use my professional position working with international students as a means of enhancing my self-recognition that I can continue to make a difference in this broad realm of education. However, functioning as a researcher and a practitioner in this wide realm encounters many contradictions, and I hope I can explore them today while at the same time expanding on my own attempt at transformation in this area. Today I have a question I'm going to try and answer. If research can help to answer so many questions and to align with a greater community, such as we have here, then why do I as a practitioner feel ill-equipped to address the issues I face in my professional realm? As a practitioner researcher, there's an unshakable feeling that my efforts to reach my newly minted status have come at the price which others are unwilling to pay. To make a difference means, and that's essentially what I'm seeking for now, to make a difference means to reimagine myself again. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey, because that's an important part of this story and this talk. In January 2024, I got a remarkable email finally from the University of Glasgow congratulating me that I've been awarded my Doctorate of Education. This was the culmination of around 10 years. I'm fortunate social media still reminds me annually of the day I applied to participate in the program. I used to share this, now I don't. In preparation for the presentation today, I was looking through some old notes and I came across a blog post I wrote as a reflective task when I was beginning out. You can still find it, diaryofaned.wordpress.com. In August 2015, I prepared to begin my journey. I wrote a short post. Part of it includes, I have a lot to learn in this course and I consider myself to be vastly inexperienced compared to my fellow students. That being said, I've been accepted onto this course. So I'm here today. And so that's something worth considering. And I know that I'm in complete dunce. I know that I'm not a complete dunce and I have something to offer. It's hard to predict or hope what my doctorate will provide for me. I think that I will have to wait and see what I can make of it myself. And with that in mind, stay focused and open to new opportunities and outlooks. This is a long journey, but I believe I'm cut out for the task. Part of this unconventional hubris that I want to talk to you today considers that I feel I would write the same things today about who I am and where I have come from. It's not malcontent, or being lost at sea, it's hubris, but an unconventional state of it. So here I am now, 10 years older, and by association, 10 years wiser, right? Today, we see a completed project. We don't see the precarious work environment I've worked in. You don't see my daughter, who was born 4 months before I started my doctorate, growing up alongside it. You don't see, before I began my doctorate. You don't see the failed assignments, the endless nights writing, falling asleep at my computer, computing, or for over 3 hours a day. You don't see our family moving to Korea in the middle of COVID. You don't see me getting a diagnosis for ADHD, a process which allows me to speak to you today as a doctor and not an MSc. You don't see the hope extended beyond deadlines. I mean, normally these things don't matter, they matter to me because these aspects are as much a part of my doctorate as the literature review and the policy analysis. A doctorate was a long-term goal. I feel that it would help. I felt it would help me professionally. I felt that I could become someone of esteem. I knew little of the challenges it would bring, but I believed I had what it takes. More importantly, those who were closest to me believed in me. And in the long run, this matters more than I can express here. But I'm a practitioner. And what sets me apart, and not exclusively, I should add, is I'm a practitioner who's chosen to do a doctorate. Practitioners, and some of you may be here today, who work with international students frequently find themselves in roles supporting the students as they study overseas. Researchers, such as doctoral students in this shared field, possibly explore how students experience living and studying, and perhaps indirectly, they may question how well do the supports provided actually function. Practitioners and researchers, in this sense, may struggle to align. Practitioners fulfill distinct roles in the higher education environment. Tertiary education sections or in higher education settings, we encounter practitioners in a wide range of roles. Practitioners are distinct in that their role focuses on practicing particular skills or honing particular skills, or carrying out professional tasks, supported tasks. However, I see practitioners as more than someone fulfilling a job description. Our success and our progression hinges on many elements which extend beyond the role and are influenced by the people we work with. In this case, international students. The issues faced by all in their professional education setting result in varying outcomes and frequent face-to-face contact with students. And this provides insight unattainable from the literature, in my view. From my personal perspective, and I'll talk a little bit of my research and the connection here, I consider the role of policy actions which are implemented, which seek to enhance the scope of international education. However, working with students in classrooms, I felt a strong disconnect between what Irish policy was calling from, because I was researching Ireland at the time, and what students from overseas were seeking. I called it my hunch. In my research, I looked at the ongoing experiences of students from China and Irish higher education against the backdrop of policy launched by the Irish government. While the policy documents are designed to attempt to create a cohesive approach, from what I could understand, there was very little to understand how students experience studying in Irish universities. Indeed, while some research had been conducted, analysis did not explore populations of students which were explicitly and uncritically targeted by initiatives designed to attract more fee-paying students. As far as I could see, making a national policy to attract overseas students who paid more money through high student fees in many respects to bolster a higher education system, which the government had chosen to reduce its support of, required a deeper analysis. These analyses were not coming at that time. I felt strongly that if Irish policy was looking to capitalize on international students, willing to invest substantial sums of money overseas, it could always brand itself as a niche. It could always brand itself with fancy words because the need was always present from students somewhere. An important consideration for us today is to talk about colleagues who conduct research to provide or explore solutions relevant to their personal professional setting. I wish to consider those who have engaged in research who are compelled to seek answers beyond their prescribed role. Essentially, I'm attempting to create a conversation which includes those whose job descriptions where research requirements are absent or are a distinctly low priority, as was the case and still is the case. So, looking beyond my own experiences, practitioners, broadly termed, conduct research for many reasons. Conducting research functions to critically engage with professional issues. These are multiple examples of these issues, but when researching with international students, we wish to explore if students are struggling socially or academically, or if their needs and concerns are being addressed in the learning setting. It may be that we recognize trends or cases where students' voices may add to a valuable component to discussions centering on students from overseas. Practitioners explore issues from the perspective that shared concerns affect all who work in their setting, including students. From my perspective in Ireland, it's apparent that a lot of research does not really reach out to international students. And if I am specific, I think a lot of research leaves out the voices of students from China and the Middle East. I don't know why this is the case, but part of me wonders, and this is very much a wonder, if researchers are afraid or unsure about reaching out and talking with people. Having worked in ELT and EAP for a long time, I have no qualms in not only reaching out to a student, but also addressing their concerns. In fact, I see it as a responsibility to right this discretion. Research also equips individuals with the knowledge and resources to facilitate change. It provides practitioners with knowledge beyond the classroom that works to link ideas. These links and this knowledge equip practitioners to see where the differences need to be from the ground up. Understanding Irish international strategy, in my case, has given me a stronger understanding of the status of international students, how our government considers them, but also allows me to posit ideas which may look to alter or improve their status. As a practitioner, there are always possibilities which we explore, we recognize between our practice and the literature. Theoretical considerations challenge our preconceptions also, because for practitioners, theory is immediately applicable to our experiences. Indeed, our understanding of theory comes from our experiences working with students. Experiences work like a petri dish for testing theory, and we see it in ways which are less abstract and more directly relevant to our research participants. Yes, research can also empower practitioners to seek to make a difference in their setting. Importantly, we see research and approach answers to our questions. We accelerate as our knowledge base improves, and this gradual accumulation of knowledge, be it theoretical or based around responses in our research works, as a fuel to drive us forward. Practitioners as researchers address the futures we all face with our applied knowledges. I would argue now that without an outlet to share or address the challenges addressed, this can manifest a burden which can quench our drive to seek and facilitate change. Knowledge equips against this burden. From this perspective, I create an impression that we are superstars, elite researchers with unique insights and advantages over others ideally placed to revolutionize research and internationalization, especially research with international students. The important distinction is that it's not specifically and sometimes absolutely not the job for which I'm paid to do. Indeed, I've worked in varying roles and my research is irrelevant. Indeed, this role of research as a practitioner is compounded by many factors which confuse ideas of who we are, where we should work, and what we ultimately need to do. I'm not here today to talk about if to explore different nuances, nor to point out that different jobs exist. I think as well, I should stipulate that this isn't really a criticism of my role, it's just something. I am a practitioner. My role involves teaching academic related skills in a higher education setting. It's been the case for 14 to 15 years. I work directly with students. I think it's my good job, but I largely enjoy the challenges, the role. But my research, by my choice, did not address issues related to my professional role, but in fact addressed issues I encountered and believed mattered because of my setting. It arose from meeting students every day and nurturing my hunch. Despite this, allying myself as a practitioner on a researcher raises considerations around the professional identity and purpose, which can be compounded by professional status, geographic location, and professional need. I think I'm running low on time, so I'm going to kind of shoot towards the end. I still have a little bit more to say, but I'll try to get to the crux of it. Yeah, and this is the crux. I talk about this clash between our geographical location, our personal need, and our professional identity. This is the crux. As a researcher practitioner, there is an unshakable feeling that my efforts came at a price which others are unwilling to pay. To make a difference means reimagining it myself again. I question that if research can help answer so many questions and to align with a greater community, then why do practitioners feel ill-equipped? Why do I, as a practitioner, feel ill-equipped to address the issues faced in the professional realm? There are so many more questions which I could ask, but it is challenging to see beyond the reality which many practitioners face. Indeed, I missed a lot of the presentation this morning because I was in work. And many practitioners can't attend conferences during the week because of work. But we do long to be more than just the job we are being paid to do. The lives of international students and the many forces that interact with them cannot wait for the dishwasher to be filled and the children to be put to bed. In a time when students and staff across higher education are threatened by ideologies as real and terrifying as Trumpism, the European far right and its anti-immigration mandates, or the increasingly widespread perception of international students as cash cows to bolster a flagging system, we require more input from our community. We require community, we require community of action. So many of us have already taken necessary steps. We were caught in some kind of a safe ground, trying to balance or align correctly as both a practitioner or researcher. As I've tried to explain, both are governed to achieve different ends. Earlier I indicated that practitioners and researchers may struggle ideologically to align. But more importantly, I wish to ask, what must both sides do to come together and form a more coherent partnership? We must step away from the safe ground we stand on and look to new imaginings of ourselves, not just practitioners, not just researchers, but together. This can be achieved in partnership and in conversation. We've done this through research with international students. Shall we consider one further step? I wonder if we have any ideas. Partnership and community offers researchers new insights and perspectives. It offers a direct connection to robust relationships with international students. It leads to change, and importantly, it leads to solidarity. And solidarity in this realm must be seen as our. Thank you.
Thank you, Conor. That's given us all a lot to think about.